Geek Cross. Hi, my name is Anna, and I'm a singer.
Hi, my name is Peyton, and I'm a dancer.
And today, what are we doing today?
Today, we are back for episode 4 of our Getting to Know Ace series, and we will be watching Take Me Higher!
So yeah, we are back with episode 4 of our Getting to Know Ace series, and we're reacting to their music video that came out in June of 2018 called Take Me Higher. We have been told in comments that this is a very different style from the past two, and also this is one where Chan is not in it because he was promoting with UNB, so it's only 4 people instead.
Which also is like big sad because Chan just has very much endeared himself to both of us since we shot the last video.
No spoilers.
People are trying to guess who our biases are. I feel like we need to tell them.
Okay, fine.
Especially since he's not in the video.
Okay, fine. That's true. We gotta include him somehow.
So, should we go?
Mm-hmm. Oh,
it is very different.
I like this. Sorry.
Universal Studios.
It's so quirky. That's what it is, right?
Mm.
Oh, that was nice.
Oh my gosh.
Wait, that's one of my favorite emojis. Oh. I feel like he's looked different in every single music video so far.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. Oh. Where did
This looks like it was a lot of fun to shoot.
Musical is not the word that I'm looking for, but something about this makes me think of like a... Is it a musical?
I'm not getting musical from it.
Yeah, but it's...
Oh, that was really nice.
Alright, I'm gonna put that out of my mind so I can focus on this more. I'll think about it later.
Oh, that was cool. It looked like it kind of came
My choice,
out.
my life. That's cute. Yeah, wait, that part was really nice. With a background too. The bass line. I really like this part when it gets like all sweet.
Does he have tattoos on his side? Did you see that?
I need to see it. I'll look for it next time.
Look!
Oh!
Are those real?
Oh my gosh. It's very large.
Mm. I really like that line with the dance there. My nephew has one of those grab machines. Sorry.
Oh, that was layered in the... Oh.
Hey. Does it bother you that that was out of order?
Sorry, what were you saying?
I'll tell you later.
Okay. Sorry.
Their outfits are really interesting for this because they're all split up the front. Oh. This is so cute.
I wonder, is it like split? Does it have an effect on like the dance? Because I feel like it just makes it flow more with their shirts.
Oh, the shirts?
Yeah, because you commented.
Their dances are always so interesting to me, and I specifically love how all of their dances start with so many levels and so many like different parts because it's so interesting and eye-catching. There were some expectations that I had of the dance, knowing that the song was a different style and like what the title was, what the lyrics were. Things like airplane-esque arms and like upward gestures, especially a lot of long lines, that sort of thing. And that is in there, so it like made total sense in my mind. But there also is such a distinct style change, and it's so interesting to me because for both Cactus and Colin, their dances were super grounded, but this one obviously, it's not super grounded, but it's also not floated the way that I was actually expecting. Everything feels very light, but still very controlled, because usually when you float movements, they start to feel a little bit more airy, a little bit more wispy, like not quite as controlled, not quite as precise, just because of the style of movement that you're doing. But this is like lifted, but still super precise. I was just watching it and I was like, I'm so intrigued. Like one of the most interesting parts is actually in the chorus, because in the chorus they actually do a lot of movements that are directed downwards, but it feels like they're moving upwards because of how their bodies are placed and how they're directing their energy. Like they do, for instance, a hip circle that actually moves down, but the way they do it, they go up a little bit at the beginning and then it's kind of like swinging. It's so cool. I was really fangirling, but it is still super tight and super precise, and that makes the few truly floated movements that are in there even more pronounced. So dynamics, the details! It wasn't as pronounced in the dance practice, but I watched a live stage version of this. It's very interesting because you can see how they are compensating for having one less member. Because I've said on the channel before that adding a member can really throw off dynamics in like a dance. Subtracting members can also do that, because you have to expend more energy and you have to kind of fill in that space, especially because people are used to seeing 5 members on stage in their performances. And it didn't look awkward, but I was just like, oh, like their movements are so much bigger because they're trying to cover that spot. Like their formations are kind of hiding that there's a missing person. It was very interesting choreography to do that. I thought it was really cool. And then just a few things about the music video before I fangirl anymore. So the part where I pointed out to Anne, I was like, isn't that weird to you? I just don't want to be corrected, basically. I understand that it's because they're saying A-E-S, like the Korean spelling, but my mind was like, why did they put the A-E-C in that order on the music video? That was really the problem that I had. And then I will admit, I looked up to see if he actually had tattoos. They are not real, apparently. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Anyways, but other than that, the music video was kind of like very refreshing compared to the last two, which I think is a really good idea because they had really solidified that sound. And then this was kind of like something new that we can try while we're with like 4 members instead of 5, and also shows like we can do other stuff too. And it just looked really fun to film. So that's all I have to say. That was a lot of fangirling. Anna.
Yeah, in case y'all couldn't tell, I really enjoyed. Okay, so to start off my comments, I remember in the reaction I said it's vaguely reminding me of a musical, but with Peyton's help, we figured out what I was actually trying to say was movie musical, like Hollywood movie musicals, like La La Land, Greatest Showman, and that doesn't include things that were like originally Broadway musicals and then made like a movie version like Les Mis, but there's like a distinct style. So before I go into talking about their singing, I will talk about the few instruments comments that I have, which is 1, all the instruments that they use are like very lighthearted and also funky, that contribute to like the playful sort of quirky feeling that I was talking about. One of those is the bass line. That I just said bass line in the reaction, but it's like really funky and groovy when it plays like during the chorus, during the bridge. Another thing is the flourish of strings that happens. I think it's during the pre-chorus, but it adds like the sweeter feeling because the lyrics of the song are very sweet. But the last thing that's really interesting to me though, in the first verse, they have like the bass playing, so it's just a sustained note, but it's being re-emphasized every measure, which I find really interesting because it only does it during the first verse. It doesn't do it throughout the entire rest of the song, even like that same line of just a sustained bass note. Even in the second verse, when the instrumental is essentially the same, just like that bass line singing and the snapping happening. So I'm wondering why.
Do you know what's really interesting?
What?
One of my notes that I didn't say was how especially the beginning of their dance, it's like how when you put the damper pedal down on a piano and then you like hit the note and it like hits and sustains and then you hit and sustain. That was literally one of my notes, was that's what their dance feels like.
That's so interesting, because
so interesting.
Yeah, because it only happens in the first verse. Wait, that's so cool. Wait. But anyways, those are all the instrumental comments that I had. But
now go off, girl.
I'm so happy to hear singing. And they all have great technique. First thing that I'll say though is talking about runs, especially that kind of run where it like up, down, that requires so much vocal agility and also just control over your voice, because they're switching between different voices. It's going across that breaking point, multiple, like that awkward in between where like you're not really sure if you want to keep using your mixed voice or your head voice, those sorts of areas, but it like was pulled off so well without having that awkward like dipping feeling where it kind of sounds like you're like swallowing the note instead of singing it. So I'm just really happy. Now for like a couple more vocal things. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much. This is gonna be a long reaction. One kind of funny thing is in the music video at the end of the bridge when Donghoon is like leading into the high notes, it shows a close-up of his face. He opens his mouth to sing the note. The initial thought that I had was like, wow, they're literally showing how he's using proper technique to sing a high note. Because it's like showing how he's lifting his soft palate to sing as he's like...
Are you gonna cry over his vowels, Anna?
Just singer things. Yes, I do have a comment talking about their vowels. Because a lot of their phrases... especially in the chorus, they end in an all vowel, but the phrase ends in kind of like a higher pitched note. All makes it a little more closed off, but how they're mixing it with an ah sound so that it'll project further. So you can hear that slight mix, and I really liked that. But also, this is my last comment. The first part of the bridge where, I know it's the rap section, but all the background vocals, honestly, the bridge is my favorite part of the song. But anyways, they could have done something simple and just have them sing on a vowel sound and sing like each chord as the chord progression is happening. But instead, they're outlining the chords and they're singing multiple moving lines and using different vowel sounds instead of just like a simple ooh for each chord. There are people singing oohs, there are ahs, there's like an ooah happening, and in the background at some point it sounds like they're saying like a sha la 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 la, but it's like very quiet. It's literally like a cappella background vocals. And in case you didn't know, I was an a cappella kid, and first off, the background vocals are being sung with different tones because it's like, oh, I'm noticeably a background vocal now. It's not just something that's done in mixing, but also like because instead of just singing oohs for each chord, how they're having different syllables and sounds and it's moving, the textures that it creates in the background are more pleasing to your ears, and it's like a slight thing that's keeping you entertained, but you're still able to focus because they're singing with like a background vocal quality on the rapping that's happening. I have talked for so long.
Just like 15 minutes, it's fine.
It's fine. Whatever, it's okay. Okay, I'll stop now, Peyton. My only sad thing is like, this is only 4-member song, not a 5-member song.
Should I TLDR?
Yes, please.
Okay, TLDR for this video is Anna just found her favorite Ace song. And like, honestly, if you couldn't tell from how much both of us just fangirled literally for so long, like, I'm not even sure what percentage of this is gonna make it into the video because we both just fangirled for so long. We both really enjoyed this. We liked seeing the change in style. We loved seeing the technique in their dancing, the technique in their singing. It was just super enjoyable from start to finish, and we are all about this. And again,
I didn't even get to fangirl about how cute they looked in the music video either. I didn't even get to do that, but it's fine. So that being said, if you enjoyed this reaction and also enjoy this song and are excited for future episodes of the series, then please leave a like, comment, subscribe,
ding,
turn on your notification bell, and bye!
Bye!